Terrorism has to be ended. That's what Ambassador for Peace must do. So we look at the period after World War II. It was a time of great hope. Japan surrendered, accepted the Allied terms. General MacArthur on the battleship Missouri received Japan's surrender with the Allied generals, and it was an amazing moment in history. America was in such a key role to bring the world together. And when you look at what General MacArthur said, you can see that God was really working at that moment. Men, since the beginning of time, have sought peace. Various methods throughout the ages have been attempted to devise an international process to prevent or settle disputes between nations. From the very start, workable methods were found insofar as individual citizens were concerned, but the mechanics of an instrumentality of larger international scope have never been successful. Military alliances, balances of power, leagues of nations, all in turn failed, leaving the only path to be the way of the crucible of war. The utter destructiveness of war now blocks out this alternative. We have had our last chance. If we will not devise some greater and more equitable system, our Armageddon will be at our door. The problem, MacArthur said, is basically theological and involves a spiritual recrudescence, an improvement of human character that will synchronize with our almost matchless advances in science, art, literature, and all material and cultural developments of the past 2,000 years. It must be of the Spirit if it is to save the flesh. That was a unique moment. America was in the central position to bring peace on the earth. And America, under Roosevelt's inspiration during World War II, called for a United Nations. President Roosevelt, on January 1st, 1942, coined the term United Nations, and the declaration by United Nations. 26 nations joined together and said they would form a United Nations to fight and to end the evil German and Axis power. The UN Charter was signed after World War II, or actually before the end of World War II on June 26, 1945, and ratified after World War II on October 24th, 1945. A problem occurred right there at the UN, right in the founding. The UN did not include the role of religions and the importance of values based on faith traditions. This allowed atheistic communist countries to join. From the very outset, there was a head-on conflict with Russia from the very beginning of the UN. Wasn't that true? Because you can't have nations that say there's no God, and nations that say that God is fundamental to peace, and think that you're going to come to any agreement. There can never be agreement when there isn't a fundamental common understanding that God exists. Therefore, the UN could work in Korea during the Korean War. It was a miracle that the Russian delegation refused to come to the Security Council to vote against fighting the Korean War. The UN, or the Security Council, voted, and we went to Korea as a UN force led by America. That's why Father Moon is saying UN has to be reformulated. So therefore he formed a new UN. That's why he called for a peace UN. We see the trouble that we're in right now with 9/11. We see the problem of our reaction to that attack. We see that the UN is not able to fulfill its role to bring peace. And we have religious leaders that would like to say that we have various kinds of problems in the world. This is Mr. or Reverend Pat Robertson, and right here what he says is we don't need another $200 billion war to get rid of one, strong-arm dictator. He continued, it's a whole lot easier to have some of the covert operatives do the job and then get it over with. This will not bring peace. This is not the kind of religious leaders or the kind of thought that will bring peace. Is that right? Therefore, what does Reverend Moon say? The time has come when cooperative and mutually supportive relationships among the world's statesmen and religious leaders are desperately needed. Since the root of human problems is not merely political, it follows that social and political solutions alone will always be insufficient. While most societies are politically governed, religion lies at the root of most national and cultural identities. Therefore, Robertson's calling for Chavez's assassination. Take him out, is what he said. Father Moon is calling for religious leaders to cooperate together. That's why he formed the Universal Peace Federation. And on September 12, 2005 in New York, that convocation was convened, and then Father Moon went through 120 cities of the world. This is Speaker Di Venecia, the Speaker of the Philippine Parliament, who also advocated and became the Chairman Emeritus of the Universal Peace Federation. This is the newly elected President of Burundi. A delegation of 2,000 gathered there, ambassadors for peace, prime ministers, religious leaders from over 120 nations. And they heard Father Moon's message. You see the logo there, UPF. The presidents from many, President Manchin from Seychelles, Dr. Murad, many distinguished leaders, Dr. Lee from Korea, Dr. Walsh, gathered together and proclaimed, we will build a new UN, an able UN. The Universal Peace Federation is that new body. Here's Dr. Young, our chairman. And then Father Moon launched this Ambassadors for Peace movement throughout America. First going to 12 cities in America, then 120 cities of the world. This is in Washington. Gatherings came together in every one of the major cities. Thousands gathered together. Here's in San Francisco. A press conference was held. Mr. Wright and Paul Cobb, I thank you for your journalism and your support and your courage to overcome different criticisms to be able to write the truth about Reverend Moon. I would like to give Mr. Wright and also Mr. Paul Cobb great round of applause. Thank you, Paul. Ambassador Sanchez, here on my left in this picture, became our chairman of the Ambassadors for Peace in America. Here's our Chinese delegation. Are they here tonight? San Francisco, you're shining. The Ambassadors for Peace were appointed that evening, black, white, Hispanic, Asian. It was a beautiful moment. And the blessing of marriage was done in every setting. Look at this gathering. It's so beautiful. Father Moon was so happy here, I can't tell you. It really gave him a boost for the world tour. Imagine him going to after going to 12 cities in America, going to 108 more cities throughout the world. He went to Asia, he went to Africa, he went to Malaysia, he went all over Laos, all over the world. It's incredible. And the theme is always the same. We break down the walls and barriers. Rabbis, Muslim imams, and Christian leaders, we can come together. We can make it. We can make it. We can love each other. We can stay together. This is our time. America must rise up and lead the way. Congressman Matt Salmon, the chairman of the Republican Party for Arizona, and also going to be the chairman of Senator McCain's presidential candidacy. He's become very good ambassador for peace and supporting. Also our beloved pastor and his wife, receiving the blessing. And after 5 hours of speaking, this is where Father Moon goes for strength and comfort. See, Mother Moon is pretty strong. Father Moon is also strong. He's now only talking about one thing. What year will it be when I'm 100? So don't worry how old he is. Don't worry about anything. Because I'm telling you, until the kingdom comes, we will march together. That's why he sent us to the Middle East.